Hi, I'm Marcy Powers, and I am talking about self-love today. Again, it's one of my favorite topics. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about what self-love means, because yes, we get that you can love yourself and love your body and love, you know, you can look at it from that standpoint of like looking at your body and loving that, but it goes much deeper than that, because we're all one. There's one self, one life, one, right? So we're all part of that. Just like there's 50 trillion cells in my body, and they're all me, right? But they're all each their own thing. But without them, I wouldn't be here. So it's the same thing with everything that exists in the universe, not just people, but animals, dirt, trees, water, space, ether. So if everything is connected and we are all one, right? So when you talk about self-love, then that must mean to love everything. The sky, the air, the water, the universe, even people you can't really like. I mean, you don't have to like them to love them, right? I don't want to get political, but you know, you have your political folks that you adore and that you can't stand. Even the ones you can't stand, they're a product of God. They're a product. They're a spark of the divine. They're part of the one self. So it's part of you, and it's really hard sometimes. I mean, it took me a long time to even say I love my least favorite that was a candidate. Anyway, I don't want to say too much about that, but I guess you get the picture. But I had to realize that even if I didn't like what he's doing, and I don't like how he is, and I don't like how he talks about women or Muslims and just the way he treated that one news guy, just not the one, a lot of them, most of them, just the things he says, they bug the crap out of me. But I do understand that it's all part of this divine plan that I might not understand and I might not like, but it's still part of that. So I have to trust that everything is in perfect order, despite seeing things that I don't like, despite seeing things that hurt my heart. I just witnessed my aunt's dog. I've been house sitting for her, and her dog passed away. Her dog was 19 and passed away 3 nights ago, in the morning actually, but the whole night she was having seizures, and it was awful. And I really asked, like, why am I having to experience this? Because it was really devastating for me. It took a lot out of me, and I still need to, sorry about that. I still need to process a little bit more and grieve a little bit more, because that was really tough. But I do understand that is an experience that I had to have. And at some point, I know that I'll look back and see it as a beautiful experience. I have been there for a couple of people when they did transition, and it was the most beautiful thing to me that I had ever witnessed. It was like birth. It really was. It was beautiful to look at it from a different perspective. But the dog, it was just, the convulsions were they seemed so violent that it was hard for me to love that. But looking at it now, I guess looking at it right now, I can see that I will find a way to see that as a really valid, beautiful experience. And that's best for me, I think. And I think that that's showing my self-love, like being able to admit that that's going to happen at some point, even though I don't feel that way about it now. I know that I will look back and love that. last year, about a year and a half ago, I started going blind. And it was quite scary. About a month ago, I had like the last treatment done that I was going to get done. So now I'm waiting till, you know, another month for it to all clear up and be okay. And so I can see a lot better now. I still have a little bit to go, but you know, thinking about that experience, about when the day that I saw this black splotch in my vision, and then I didn't know what it was, and then waiting, thinking it would clear up, and then going to the doctor, and the doctor saying, you know, very concerned, sending me to a specialist. And you know, I was staying positive the whole time. I was like, oh, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. And then realizing that things actually, because things got worse before they got better, and there was a time that I did pray to God to please just take me, because I couldn't think with living life, not being able to see sunsets and sunrises and flowers and trees and birds, because that's what like keeps me alive. That's where I get my daily dose of God, is that I go for a walk, and I pay attention to nature. I look at the clouds and the trees, and I find like weird bugs, and I don't like bugs, but I love to look at them and I love to find them. And so I just thought, how can I even be happy with that? And I had a really crazy experience while I was praying. That's what I was praying. I was praying. Usually I don't pray to God. I don't see God as outside of me. So, but whenever I'm in a really low place, I do. I pray to God, and then I'm mad, and I say things, I blame, and I get angry. But anyway, this time I was doing that, and my car literally, I was on the freeway in Austin, Texas, and my car literally stopped. It turned off while I was going 60 miles an hour, and I realized like I couldn't go any faster, so I started pulling over, and I was praying that I would just get to the exit. And I made it just right before, and I was in a really dangerous spot because there was a lot of traffic. And I just said, oh my God, like really? Why? Oh my gosh. And I couldn't see my phone to call AAA or anybody. And so all of a sudden I look in my rearview mirror, and a guy's pulling up. This man's pulling up in his truck, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, great. And he comes over, and I'm bawling. My face is red, my eyes are red, and I rolled down my window, and he said, hey, how are you? And I was like, I'm awful. And he said, what happened? And I told him, like, my car just stopped. I mean, it's smoking now, so I don't know what's wrong. And he goes, okay, well, pop your hood. I'll take a look at it. He goes, and don't worry, anything I do today, it's free. I'm just here to help you. And I at that point, I was like confused, and I couldn't even say anything to him. And he went and looked at my car. He looked at it for a little bit, and then he came back around. He goes, okay, well, I found the problem. And it was something with my radiator, not the radiator, but like there was some sort of like thing spewing out. So, and he kept going, you know, back and forth, and he came back to my car, and he told me what he was going to do. And I said, hold on a second. I said, what is your name? And he said, oh, my name is Clarence. And I don't know if you've ever seen It's a Wonderful Life. I love that movie. But the angel's name was Clarence. So when he told me his name, oh my God, the tears just poured out of my eyes. And I said, oh my God, you're an angel. He goes, I'm not sure about that, but, and he goes, but I'm here to help you. And he had a hat on that said hero. It was almost like my prayer, my complaint, that the universe was saying to me, just trust me, I've got your back. Because here I am on the freeway. I don't know what's wrong with my car. I can't get out of it because there's so many cars. And then this angel named Clarence pulls up, and he helps me. And then he does. He gets me on the road. I was about 1.5 miles from, I was on my way to the eye doctor to get an injection in my eye to help clear up what was going on. but I made it to my appointment, and then I made it, I ended up driving to Dallas after that and made it fine, and my car was fine. And yeah, it was like, it was an incredible experience, but I realized that, I don't know what this has to do with gratitude, but yeah, of course I was grateful for that, but, and self-love. But I guess it was a realization that the universe has your back. Why? Because there's one self, and that one self is you. It's what you're made of, right? So that one self is not going to let you drown or let you experience something that you can't handle. And I mean that even if it's death, it's not something you can't handle. It is. I personally, I'm not afraid of that word. I don't really believe that anybody dies. I do think that the energy just keeps going, and it goes into another form or another state, dimension, what have you. I don't know what other words are used, but those are the ones that I use. So yeah, so that was a really great experience, and it put me in a place of gratitude, and at that point I knew that I was going to get my sight back and I would be okay. And today I see a lot better. I mean, it's still a little cloudy, and but I can see people's faces, and I wasn't able to see people's faces, and I wasn't able to see, I still can't see road signs that well, but it's getting better. But I can see people's faces, and I can tell when people are smiling at me. I think that I look like a grump for a good year and a half, because I wouldn't look at people because I didn't want them to smile at me and me not see it, and then I didn't want to seem rude, so I wouldn't look at anybody's face, and it was interesting. Yeah, so all right, I guess that's it. I wanted to do my second video, and I'll keep talking about self-love, and I'll keep talking about love of the universe for you, and staying aligned with that love, and I mean, we're always connected, but aligned, like being tuned into that love no matter what. And with that, I just want to say I love all of you, and have a great week. Mwah!